Alright folks, hello, welcome to league number 3 of the day. With Bant Control, we made some changes. I cut the loan from the main deck. It hasn't felt like a main deck card, so I added the 4th copy of Path to Exiles instead. And we're gonna see how this works out. Playing against my opponent at 0-1. Also, we added the 3rd Purge, and we cut 1 Veil of Summer, and we cut the Dispute to make room for the loam that we cut from the main deck. I'm gonna see how this works out. Polluted Delta. Watery Grave. Shadow? Shadow me, baby. Let's go. It would be awesome if the 5-0 that we got on Tuesday actually put Shadow back on the map and everybody's like, what? Grix is Shadow 5-0'd? What? It's time, baby. It's time. That's definitely what a Shadow player would pick there. That is most definitely what a Shadow player would pick right there. Marsh Flats. What's up? What's up, opponent? What are you doing over there with that Marsh Flats? What you doing? What are you doing over there with those Marsh Flats? Oh, okay. Okay. Thoughtseize number 2. Probably another path is gonna go to the bin. Of course. Of course. Hallowed Fountain. It would be awesome to find a land, you know? Like super awesome. Land? If there's something that I am very well known for, though, is for never ever being lucky. Never ever being lucky. $29 lands. Force of Despair? Yes, opponent, yes! That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, opponent. Let's go. Beautiful. Everything's going according to plan. Everything's going according to plan. This matchup should be very, very good for us under normal circumstances. Feels like a 20 land deck at the moment. Yeah. Thanks for being generous. Mystic Sanctuary is not free, right? I definitely want to see more. I want to see if my opponent's playing Gourmet Angler. I want to see if my opponent's playing Scourge. Seems like Gourmet because they have Thought Scour. Force of Despair, though. Wow. Force of Despair. Wow. Spurges looking good. Veil of Summer looking good. Explosives looking good. Romance looking awful. Mana Leak kind of okay on the play. Gonna be cutting them on the draw. Cryptic is kind of medium. Primeval Titan probably better than our Promise because our Promise gets stubbed and Primetime does not. So Force of Despair main deck. I wonder how often my opponent super gets somebody. Feels like one of those things whenever you get him good. Whenever you get him, you definitely get him good. Force of Despair. Somehow not the worst force. Somehow not the worst force. What? Lance? What is this nonsense? My third land drop? What? What? Opponent moves to 6. Smooth start for us. I wonder what makes you play Esper Shadow instead of just Grixis. Like, what's the point? What is Esper trying to do that Grixis just doesn't do better? Take my Titan. Wow. Seems pretty weird. I'm gonna main phase this because I'm probably not pathing anything and I don't want to get stubbed for no reason. Will we find land? Is the real question. My opponent has hit more land drops in these 3 games. In their 17 land deck, they have been able to hit more land drops than I have in my 29 land deck, I think. And we can't trip more than they did. Cling to dust my growth spiral. Tapping out of blue and leaving up white and black. Interesting. I think I'm pathing here instead. No threat for you. Land? Easy. Easy land off the top. But I guess my opponent could have like a 3 fairy or something, and that's, I mean, that's why they're playing the cards that they're playing. The reason to do this now is that it uses my mana more. They don't have stub, I guess. Okay, they don't have stubborn eye. Good for us. The idea was I get the Cryptic Stubborn Denial, and then I untap and I path the Shadow, so I'm forcing them to have 2. But if I let the Shadow resolve, if they can just not stub my Cryptic, and they, you know, I'm in a really awkward spot. Or they stubborn my Path to Exile if I go to Path to Exile or end step, and they basically time walked me, and I'm still stuck with a Cryptic command in my hand. Medley Mage, you got it. I guess they named Path to Exile. Yep. Sure. Can we draw Valaki off the top? That would be a delight. They don't know about this purge, so that's cool. Also, they're down 2 shadows. Angler is not even close to as scary as a dead shadow right now. Three mana. 4 mana. Cling. Sounds like a cling to dust. So I think we're just gonna pass here. And if my opponent fetches, I'm just gonna purge in response. Which they may want to purge here. They may want to do that. And now they can cling my Udo, but if they do, they don't draw a card and they gain life instead. So it's kind of okay. In fact, they might just have to cling here. They may just have to cling here. And they do it main phase, which is the correct time to do it. Cling is a very good card, though. Cling is a very good card. Damn. It's not bad. It's not bad. I think I'm just gonna play a second Dryad here. My idea is my opponent is missing a threat here. Oh wow. Interesting. So we are drawing Cryptic Command. So they play an Angler and they're dead on board. Doesn't seem like the correct play. They know I'm drawing Cryptic. They know that I'm drawing Cryptic, so that's pretty good actually. That's pretty good. Now they name Cryptic Command here. I'm probably still jamming. They double block one of the Dryads. Smedley Mages are real awkward. So I think I kill the one that's naming Path to Exile. That unlocks my path. Oh, wow. Okay. I'll take that. I will definitely take that. How do they win now? And also, what's their hand? They have 4 cards in hand and they're doing nothing. they're just playing a meddling mage. That's so weird. Okay. Leak, Lot Wars on the draw. You want forces instead of leaks? Feels like something that makes sense in my head, but I'm just going. My opponent's gonna play an angler on turn 3, and I'm just gonna be staring at a force of negation. But seems like on the draw, force would make a lot more sense. Also, I have to imagine my opponent's playing the fairies and stuff. Loam fights Uro, by the way. Yeah, but I'm probably not gonna have time to be messing around with Loams against the deck with Death Shadow, right? Like, well, what we just played was a very unusual game where if my opponent had 1 Stubborn Denial, I think that we would have been in significantly worse spot. And like loam against Thalatzes in general, I think that is the kind of what's the word looking for? That's the kind of, I'm keeping this hand by the way. Heuristics. That's the kind of heuristics that I think is a trap to fall into. Like, I would never want to play against like Red Black Shadow, against Red Black Prowess, against even against Jund. Loam is kind of iffy. Heuristic, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Even against Jund, Loam is kind of like, it's good if they have a Liliana hand, but if their hand is like a Goyf hand, then you're gonna be sitting with your Loam here and you're gonna get hit by a big Goyf precisely because the Loam grows the Goyf. So I don't know if that's the place where you want to be, you know? So my opponent targeted themselves with the bubble, so they don't know what I'm drawing. Goyf is still being used in Modern. You'd be surprised, but yes, it is. Which is completely wild, right? I don't know, like my opponent showed me meddling mage, so I'm not gonna play a preemptive explosives on 2, only to then get meddling maged and blown out, right? The same is true for Path to Exile against Lily for Jund in the Jund example. Yep, that's why I'm not a fan of Path to Exile against Jund. Celestial Purge is a lot better. Because it answers the only threat that it doesn't answer is exactly Goyf. While answering some annoying nonsense like Ashiok and stuff. I thought they would have cut down on Goyf to the removal available now. No, I mean, it's still the thing that beats down the fastest. It's still the cheapest threats that beats down the fastest, and of course it combos very well with discard spells and removal. There's melee mage. So I guess if I don't find a green source, I'm just gonna play these explosives on 2. They have to name Path to Exile, yeah. That's the most logical thing to name. No green source because I am the unluckiest human being to ever breathe, but it's okay. Also, we have a Field of the Dead and we drew like 2 copies of the same basic, which is literally the only card in the entire deck that we have 2 copies of. These and Breeding Pool. There's only 2 lands that we have 2 copies of, and it's exactly this one and Breeding Pool, and we somehow managed to draw both of them. Yikes. Right, I've been out of the loop. MTG seems pandemic server. Yeah, I mean, a lot of things have happened too, right? So it's kind of tough to keep up with anyway. Okay. Is my opponent minuser? Yep, they are. think I'm taking this too. You love to see it, right? Don't you love to see it? Main user. So bad. Like they're playing Cling to Dust and they're playing Gurmagangler. Cling to Dust and Gurmagangler. And they still minus targeting me. Can't believe I misread it that bad. I'm gonna be a shamewalk. Yeah. This is because like a lot of people just use Ashiok minus without thinking. Like instead of using their brains and thinking about the consequences of their action, they see, oh, okay, this has an ability, I guess I'd use it. Completely ignoring the fact that number one, the reason why this card beats me is not because of it's not because of the minus, it's because of the static ability. And number two is they are ignoring the fact that there's some actual upside in them targeting themselves with Ashiok because they have cards that benefit from having cards in the graveyard. So what ends up happening is their Ashiok mine is now at a much easier life total for me to deal with. Ashiok is at a much easier life total for me to deal with, and they get absolutely nothing out of it. Because, like, they exiled a couple of cards, sure, whatever. You know, these cards are not in my hand, so it's not like my opponent is minusing in getting value. They could be getting actual upside from the card, and instead they're just like throwing value down the drain for no reason. They're gonna name Path to Exile because that's what they named with the previous one, obviously. So you have to draw Celestial Purge, I guess? Very unlucky. Very, very unlucky. Yep. That's it. Of course. If at any point we draw a Celestial Purge, we get rid of the Ashiok, we play Titan. We play Udo, stabilize. But yeah. You see, so we fixed the mana, like we made the mana even easier and more able to cast our spells, and still we have lost at least 4 or 5 games because of mana requirements. So you can see like how tough building a deck like this and making the mana work it can be, and how just Return to Dust just got lucky. It's so yeah, it's just what it is. Now that we drew the path, I guess we don't care about this whatsoever. I guess instead of having 1 mana 1/1, they have 2 mana 1/1s. Delver doesn't flip. Why would it flip? Playing Delver or Secret in Modern. Faceless Haven. I do like what my opponent's doing. I mean, it's bad, but it's fun. I shall take 2. I shall take 2. Oh, I clicked on the wrong land. My bad. Let's get Triumph here because we already have another white source. And then we can play our lands. And I guess we played the Fairy? They can't have, like, they have to have like Remand or something? Spell Beers. Sure. Guess let's not pass just yet. So we're probably gonna have to pass the Ascendant Spirit, I guess. They're not sinking mana into it though. But if we pass the Sectal Aberration, they will. Use your mana effectively. My opponent wants to counter this, it's probably fine. That is the card that I'm kind of afraid of. I'm not afraid of the rest that's going on here, but Faceless Haven seems kind of scary. It's an interesting one. I had no idea this has Vigilance. And once again, same story repeats itself. Or we're just gonna lose because we cannot hit our land drops. Just absolutely brutal. Also, I feel like I fucked up. I should have left the white source up. My opponent showed me remand, right? And I should have done this before attacks. Yeah, I'm not playing cleanly. Down to 2 cards, we're down to 1, so we have to draw land. If we draw land, we are probably in okay shape. Fetch, no, I guess that doesn't work. Yeah. Just can't find a land, man. Holy fuck. It's insane how many land drops we have missed during all of these leagues in our 29 land deck. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane how many land drops we've missed. Can the Rudy for the Delver list? Yeah, I mean, I don't what's the word I'm looking for? I don't blame you. It's kind of cool. I don't think it's good, but it is sweet. No, I'm not opposed to that. I am not. Like, I'd rather win, but like if my opponent wins here, I'm not too upset. Wouldn't that have a slot deck be better off with a Mutavault? I think so, but like this is particularly weird because like you're playing a Delver deck that wants to play a bunch of lands, because otherwise your the other one drop, like the Snow Spirit, is just like a stupid 1/1. So you want to be hitting your land drops, you want to be hitting lands 3 and 4, but like you're also playing a Delver deck which doesn't want to hit that many land drops. Because it needs action, because its cards are just bad. So you need to make up for the way that a Delver deck gains card advantage is by its opponents dying before they can cast their spells. Because like you have the weaker spells always. Almost regardless of who you are playing against, your spells are going to be worse. The Delver's spells are going to be worse than the opponent's, right? I think I'm going to get a tap land here. We can Growth Spiral next turn. Okay, this is nice. We're hitting land drops for a change. We have Mana Leak up. We have Path to Exile up. All of this is good. Opponent does nothing. We get to Growth Spiral, pull ahead. Land. That land is VC standard. Yeah, I'm assuming that this card has to be good in standard, right? Definitely not up to date with standard, but so next turn I guess we Teferi with Mana Leak up. But they don't have instant speed threats, so like I'm not doing anything and they're not doing anything, and every turn that goes by things get better for me. So I don't understand what they're trying to achieve here. What are they trying to do? Like they're missing land drops, they're going to discard. Like why are they doing nothing? I mean, we just keep passing the turn. There's no reason for us to blink. Yeah, they're trying to play it like a control, and that's just not a good plan for them. Sure. Like they're just gonna go to discard again. Delver. Okay. I guess I'm gonna path here and then step. So I guess next turn we can double threat. Next turn we can play a Dryad and then play the Fairy. I wonder if they play Mystic Sanctuary because they need all of the snow mana. Yeah. I mean, what was going to happen ended up happening, which is eventually my opponent is going to miss a land drop or something, and now we're just going to pull super far ahead. I guess they could have Force for my Teferi, but if they have Force for my Teferi, that's a 2-for-1 for us. So we're gonna, I guess we'll resolve Dryad here, and then we'll resolve Titan next turn. Like we're at 16. There we are under no reasonable pressure. I guess I kind of would like to have another green source. Another white source, I mean. They have no pressure in the air. If I untap with the Fairy, we just completely own them with this Primeval Titan or the Hour of Promise. I think that my opponent is trying to go like a little bit more mid-rangey or more like control-y against me, and that just plays exactly into my plan because I am the significantly better control deck. I'm playing more lands, my spells are overall a lot more impactful. Like my opponent is spending, my opponent has cards that say 1 mana 1/1, and my cards say like the Fairy, Udo, and Chase the Mild Sculptor. You know, like one of us is always going to is always going to end up ahead in a situation like this. It's not looking good for my opponent. Yeah, you can brainstorm all you want, my friend. Brainstorm away. Ooh, with a fetch land too. And it's obviously huge that Primetime doesn't get forced, right? So if my opponent spends mana here to like bounce the Fairy or whatever, like we just Primetime them. All of that you're doing is now dead. All of these are now dead. Just let me untap. There you go. That one is dead. That one is dead. That one is dead. It's cute though. Like, they're doing some interesting stuff. I wonder if, with them going a little bit more mid-rangey, like I don't think I would want Force of Negation under normal circumstances, but I guess I do because I know what their plan is now. You're gonna play Control these, don't tap out against 6 men. I mean, it's like, what are they gonna do? But because of how they have how their deck is built, they're naturally gonna go into those situations. So that's what I'm saying. Like, my opponent's going halfway, and you basically never want to do that. I think what they should do is they should try to rush me like they did and hope I stumble, which is not a great strategy, but it's just what their deck is hoping happens, just by the way it's constructed, right? But if they are playing 1-mana 1/1s, like, that's just not gonna work out. It's just not. Entrancing Melody. Yeah. That's not what's up, opponent. That is most definitely not what's up. We're gonna take 3 here, and then we're gonna blow this up one end step, I think. So you can keep the board clear, hold up mana leak. It's cool. Okay. I take back everything I said about this deck. I saw Delver and I got my hopes up. I mean, I think that it's a deck that maybe is able to do something sometimes. But it kind of feels like my opponent's approach to the matchup is flawed. That is the feel that I'm getting here. Should I path now? I think I don't want to path now. We see what they do. If they are just attacking for 2, I think I just take this. And then I'm going to Growth Spiral and step. Play this tapped. I guess we need the white source, so blue, white. They have soft permission, like spell pierce and stuff, right? Like, they need to kill me before their soft permission is just worthless, just like right now. Isn't there the most legacy card? Yeah, it is. It is not. It is not more. I mean, we see why it isn't, right? Like, in Legacy, it is backed up by. Wow. In Legacy, it is backed up by cards like Force of Will and Wasteland. Those cards don't exist in Modern, so we see. I mean, we see what happens right now. Like, because Delver is only strong because of the rest of the cards. Like, Delver is only a contextually strong card. It's not an objectively strong card. The fact that the opponent couldn't daze the E on the play shows how much better it is. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to make. And now we basically, like, Teferi just takes over because we're gonna be entering the bully part of the game, or what people like to call garbage time. My opponent can spend 2 mana to gain control of a 2/2 if they want. It's kind of exciting. Yikes. Well, that's a card I wish I hadn't drawn. That's very unfortunate. Wow. You have to be kidding me, right? Like, I might... Oh, I don't have enough islands. Wow. Oh. This is how we throw a... This is how we throw away an unlosable game. By drawing the absolute worst card in the entire deck. And then, like, throwing like this. Yikes. That was bad. Thoughts on Rosa? I tried it. It's unfortunately not playable. Boy, I wish it was. Do I wish Rosa was playable? God damn it. It is not. I assure you that it is not. They're gonna put a counter on this? They probably have to. If they do, I think I'm gonna bounce this main phase. And just, you know, win through the zombie apocalypse. Ballsy move. Like it. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I think I'm main facing this. Mana Leak doesn't do it, Spell Pierce doesn't do it, so it needs to be some form of card counter. Sure. Do that again. I'm playing Ghost Quarter here because it gives us the option to Ghost Quarter ourselves to get another zombie, or we can just Ghost Quarter the Faceless Haven. Almost got scared there. We started to flood pretty heavily, but... Dead to Piracy Charm. Damn. Beating on Delver, like the bullies we are. The Cheese standalone with the tier 1 sub coming back for 24 months, 2 full years of support. Thank you so much, Cheese. Really appreciate it. Boom, 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 boom. Violin 6. Let's go. That was cute though. My opponent seemed kind of lost in games 2 and 3. They seem a little bit lost in like what they're doing. Like on that turn, they just tapped out for a Graven Lore, and it's just like, cool, you know. I mean, this is one of those hands that I'm happy to keep, and then I'm never finding a land drop ever again. But it is the game we set out to play, you know. Yeah, they did have the sweetest cards though. I mean, Graven Lore, right? I have first pick that in limited. I think I did that twice. The first time it went well, the second time did not go so well. I actually have a limited deck set up and ready to go. Been having a lot of fun with limited off stream. New set's pretty fun. Nice. Nice. Hitting land drops like nobody's business. What do we got here? Valki resolves. 2 mana, 2/1. Look at target player's hand. May be able to beat that. Land? Never. Oh. Is this like actual Jondo? Seems like actual Jondo. Land? Damn it. Land. Come on. But I kind of have to play the Euro there. There we go. Because if my opponent plays another Valki, they actually get to steal it. So having Euro in my hand is a little bit of a... that sucks for us. That really fucking sucks for us. Can we beat that? I think we can't. I mean, I can return it to hand. Let's see what they exile. Let's see what they exile. A monkey and a mystic sanctuary. Okay, so let's get Hallowed Fountain here. So we're gonna path this, and we're just gonna Cryptic Bounce this. So if they have a monkey, technically this is bad for me, but I mean, I have to hope for the best, and I have to untap, and I have to take it from there. If we get to untap, we're going to be in good shape. But we have to untap. Fuck, man. Okay, so we're going to make the same play again. Oh, the problem is now my opponent is hitting land drops, so I guess I also need to hit a land drop myself. Exiled another monkey and a prime time. So you have to draw a blue source here. Blue source? We have 2 draws at a blue source. Blue, 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 and 1. Blue source? Will Jan play Boring Clicks for any reason? No, I don't think so. Actually, this doesn't work. Teferi is good. Our promise is good. Teferi is fine, I guess. Remand is good. Mana Leak is good. Explosives, not so much. Loam, not so much. It's very likely my opponent's playing Boil too, so... We don't have too many interaction, we have to ship it. This one we have too many interaction, but we don't have blue sources. And this one we're gonna keep and we're gonna hope it's good, but okay, 2 ways to go about this hand. Thank you for the follow, Demix. 2 ways to go about this hand. I guess that I'm gonna lead on this because we can find a blue source, and if we find a blue source, we can go spiral into the field and then play the Teferi. Blue source. Few. No force of negation. I mean, we could force of negation, but it's just so bad against my opponent, who is a grindy 2-for-1 U deck, you know? Ugh. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, you can force a T-Bolt. You can force a T-Bolt if your opponent goes for it, but... What could we play force over? I have to get the Euro out of my hand, so I have to draw a blue source. Because otherwise I'm just mana leaking. That's so brutal, man. We've lost so many matches. So many matches have been lost because our mana just doesn't function. This was a mul to 5 though. This was a mul to 5. Okay, I'm done with this. I think I'm not gonna be streaming Modern for a while. This is just not enjoyable. I'm done with this. Because this, like, if this were like once every 2 leagues, maybe I'm okay with that. But it's like it's 2 or 3 times per league. This is just it's just too much. It's just too much, and the decks are just too consistent. I'm honest. I'm not having a good time right now. Like I'm already playing a deck that I mean it's fine. Like I have nothing against the deck that I'm playing, but it's too much. Chocolate attack. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean it's as simple as that. I'm just not having a good time. So why would I force myself to not have a good time? Seal of Fire. T-Bolt escalates pretty fast. Yeah, like it's just you cannot keep up with it, and they have 8 copies of 3 mana Planeswalker. That's just not reasonable, right? It's just a little bit too much. So unfortunately we drew a Remand, which is basically a dead card in the matchup, but the good thing is that my opponent's playing Seal of Fire, which is just an awful card, so we got that going for it. The last modern streamer. Yeah. Yeah, and this is why Remand is just not playable against Burn, right? A little bit flooded on the growth spiral department. I am so happy I don't have to play the showcase. I think the showcases are gonna happen next weekend, and I don't have to play in the modern one because I'm already qualified. Like I'm just so happy about that. I am so happy about that. The question I think is, are folks enjoying this? You know, I feel like that is the important question. Is like, are people, like the people who are watching is what I mean. Like, are people still enjoying modern? Because if people are still enjoying modern, maybe I'll make an effort and I'll try to continue to produce the content that people want to see, and I'll do my best to fake my way through enjoying through enjoying the format. I guess I'll submit it to a vote. I guess maybe I can do that on between the Discord and the and Twitter. Like it's crazy how T-Bolt and stuff is making Uro look like a joke, right? I, as the guy playing the T-Ball deck, I am for sure enjoying it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if everybody is in the same boat that you are, so like, I think that many people will like play the deck. Like for example, my case would be exactly that. I would just, if I wanted to win, I would play the deck and I would not enjoy it. Like if you enjoy it, that's great for you. If you enjoy it, more power to you, but I'm not sure if like people in general are enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? I guess that our promise is just better than prime time because it comes down a turn earlier. Cut remains, which are unplayable. On the draw, so we can probably cut leaks as well. Let's cut the fairy. There. The first few Junkie Drake and Cascade decks were fun, but now it's a little annoying. I don't think they were fun, because like from the very beginning, it was just there wasn't any interplay ever, right? Like from the beginning, we all knew what those decks were gonna be like. It's not like anybody was surprised by what the decks were doing. Everybody just knew from day one that they were gonna be absolute and utter bullshit, right? Whoops. That's what I would have liked to fetch. We use those decks like meme decks and suddenly yeah, I mean it is logical though, right? Like it is what happens, which is like people just started tinkering with the decks and they started tuning them, and then all of a sudden, oh wait a second, like this is actually a real deck now. It is to be expected. Why is my opponent playing Seal of Fires? I don't understand. Chat, help me. Why is my opponent playing Seal of Fires? So I'm at a virtual 8. We have Force, we have Gust, we have Leak. We're probably going to Gust one of my opponent's creatures. Pitching his Cryptic Command, maybe? Never finding a land. Never ever finding a land. They forgot to add Lurus. Okay, that would explain it, yeah, for sure. So at a virtual 7, Riftbolt goes on suspend. Riftbolt goes on suspend. This is just a blocker. Or it eats 6 damage, which is also okay with me. They go face. Okay. So we're gonna have to chomp the Swift Spear. If they have any 1-drop, we lose. I really don't want Path to Exiles. Sand has lands. So if we find Udo, this hand's gonna be great. Interesting. Are they just playing mono red? Is that what's going on? I keep getting the wrong islands. I'm supposed to get the other one. It's not bad. Okay. I'm fetching here because if my opponent wants to enable, it's not Revolt, it's the other thing, Spectacle. They have to like jump phase here. Which I guess is probably, nah, I guess it doesn't change anything, never mind. Gobo. That was a draw step. By doing that on the stack, they put it on the bottom. By doing that on the stack, we don't take two, right? That's the point. I think I'm doing this. Because if I minus the ley line, we go down to 3 and we lose to any bolt off the top. They definitely have another land. Well, I guess I just jump at prime time, actually. I shouldn't have gotten back that... I shouldn't have gotten back that Aether Gust. I think this is my turn to do this. Whoops. This means that my opponent can't kill me. Yeah, that was just bad. I should have thought about that turn before doing anything. I also forgot to Blossom the Fairy. All sorts of nonsense. They have 2/1 mana thingies. We die, but they don't. Yeah, and now we should be drawing an Aether Gust. Oh, never punished. We are fine. Worry not. Oh, we still have one more to go? Oh no! Ah. Uh-huh. So that's why we brought the ley line. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I guess we're still fine. Because we go down to 1. Well, obviously I should have purged this. So down to 4. Then they take a bunch. And now I do this here. We go down to 1. But there's the fairy, so my opponent cannot do anything. And I just dome them now. Wow, crazy. Honestly, I hadn't really played against that ley line before. Interesting. Ley line of combustion. I remember when there was a short period of time where people were trying Chandra's Incinerator, and I think that deck was playing Ley line of combustion, if I'm not mistaken. Hand seems fine. Mystic Sanctuary, say go. We get to spiral on 2. Play Field of the Dead. We're gonna get, I guess we're gonna get a Temple Garden? I guess we get Breeding Pool. Yeah, we get Breeding Pool. Breeding Pool's much better. Wow. Am I actually happy to see a 4-color Omnath here? Is this real? Like, I'm actually happy to see my opponent playing 4-color Omnath. Is that where we're at right now? My opponent plays 5-color Omnath and a 4-color Omnath, and I'm actually excited. Damn. So I guess Psychotrime is just a better breeding pool here. I'm gonna pass the turn. We're holding up Cryptic. Not the worst feeling. But I don't want to play the field until I can make sure that I am getting value. They shock. Growth Spiral. Nah. It was tempting though. It was definitely tempting. But if my opponent taps on Rents, we get super punished for that, so... What that tells me is that my opponent's mana is pretty much non-functional right now, so they were really desperate to cash in that Field of Ruin. Oh, you got opponent. If they play Anur, I think I'm Cryptic. I'm Crypticing. Am I leaking this? I kind of want to leak this. Well, this seems great for me. My opponent tapped out on their turn. Untap land, please. My own Uro. Land, please. Excellent. Excellent. So we're the first one to get onto the first ones to get onto the board. That's fine. So I think my opponent is trying to just field the graveyard for Udo. You gotta field it dead. Yep. So we're gonna get to Cryptic. Probably just counter draw. Yeah, just counter draw. Just get a breeding pool. And Hallowed Fountain. Oh, we can get Prayer Stream. That's cool. It's free. Counter spell, draw a card. And now we just basically have to draw lands. Udo's, I guess, not the worst. That's pretty good though. Swing. Swing. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we are not gonna be able to put the Cryptic back on top and get Udo from the yard, but we can use this Udo to cycle though. I guess think we're ahead on board. Things are looking pretty good. We're gonna get back Udo next turn. Holding up Cryptic. If they have big spell plus mana leak, maybe we have a problem, but that's not big spell plus mana leak. Opponent backs it in. Sweet. Alright, they also did not see anything resembling Valakuts and that kind of nonsense, so that's definitely great for us. I do like Purges in this matchup a fair amount. I do like Ashioks, and I like 1 or 2 Aether Gusts, but not everything. I think I'm going to cut Our Promise because I'd rather have Primeval Titan. Romance are great. Growth Spirals, sorry, are great. Guess we're gonna cut mana leaks. Dryad seemed great. The Fairy seems great. Udo seems okay. This is the last league for today. Yeah. It's probably gonna be the last league for a while. Of Modern, that is. I'm gonna continue streaming, of course, but I think I'm gonna switch things around because I'm just not enjoying Modern. I was ranting about it a little bit ago. Just got lands, you don't need 21. This matchup is literally about hitting land drops. It's the #1 most important thing to do. I don't think I want to cut lands. Modern is in bad shape right now. I think Modern is right now the worst it's been since I started playing it. The gameplay is just shit. Like, I don't like the gameplay whatsoever. Like, I actively dislike it. Let me put it like that. I actively dislike the gameplay. And I don't think that has ever happened since I started playing Modern. I ship any primetime? I guess I'd rather cut the Fairy because it gets forced. Primetime doesn't get forced. Time to play Vintage. I don't think Vintage is necessarily much better. Again, I've been enjoying Limited a lot. I don't know about Legacy. I guess Legacy might be okay. I mean, I've been seeing that people are basically doing the same thing right now, where they're just playing T-Bolt. So I'm not looking forward to playing more T-Bolt. Turn to Ren is brutal. That's basically turn to Ren. I guess I'm going to threaten that I can do something, because I can't have my opponent just freely tap out for a Teferi or, God forbid, an Ashok. If they Ashok here, we are in a lot of trouble. Love Jumpstart, don't know if it's available on MTGO Arena. Well, it's not legal in... like, it is legal in MTGO, but the only formats where Jumpstart is legal are Legacy and Vintage. Just get Hallowed Fountain here. I think we jump to Fairy. We could jump Uro here. I think I like jumping to Fairy better, because if it resolves, it's a lot more awkward for my opponent to deal with. If they have Omnath here, we're in bad shape, though. They have Omnath here. No, that's Jace. Is that worse than Omnath, or is that better than Omnath? That may actually be worse than Omnath. Jumpstart is also historic legal, because your legal is publish it. Yeah, I've been having fun with historic, because you can kind of brew in historic. So kind of being able to brew is, I don't know, makes things maybe a little bit more interesting. I've been playing an Lands list that I've been having fun with. It's probably not like insane or anything, but I've been having fun with it. Why is my opponent going upstairs? Gonna ping here? Okay. Cryptic Bounce here to Fairy. Okay. Am I supposed to play Udo here? I feel like I want to... because they can make the same play again. Yeah, I think I'm making the same play again. So now we're gonna loam. I guess we can loam at instant speed, that's cute. Next turn we can slam a prime time, or we can go up with Udo. They keep plussing. So weird. Yeah, they can have Ren Emblem, I guess, but we also have Valakut plus Dryad. Wow, that's so greedy. Like, if we draw Dryad, we just win here. Here's Johnny. Jace ultimate is a problem. Maybe. But we're putting my opponent in a situation where they have to... Maybe I should have gotten Ghost Quarter instead of Valakut, I guess. Jace. Interesting. Oh, they have 6 through their turn. Well. I mean, I still think we were in fine shape there, right? My opponent ultimates Ren. They ultimate Ren. Sure, we have a Teferi in play. They are forced into using Teferi to tap and draw. So they can't really answer my Teferi. We play Jace, we attack with Primetime, then let's say that we Brainstorm, plus our card for turn, plus Udo, plus another Udo. Okay, we were gonna whiff, okay, whatever. But like if at any point we draw a Dryad, which we have 3 copies of, we just win. And my opponent, like we have 1 turn to find any of that, and if my opponent whiffs, like if I have 2 turns to do that actually, because the Jace was going to go to 11 and then to 12, then to 13, and then they can minus. So my opponent's turns are basically locked, because otherwise we just attack with the zombies and we just attack the Jace and there's no risk. So I still think that we were ahead at that point, even though my opponent was going to have a Ren ultimate and the Jace and the Jace was starting to get to ultimate. I don't think that the Jace was going to actually ultimate. When you see a non-true mirror and it's still disgusting, why did Bant become the worst colors? I don't think that's the case. Like, I'd much rather play mirrors like that one than I play against the trickery deck. Like, the trickery deck is just absolute bullshit. This deck is cool. I don't think it's busted or anything like that. I feel like if you want to play, you know, Primeval Titan, you have to play Primeval Titan with counter magic, and this is a fine way to do it. Like the Fairy is great, but turn 3 is just not fast enough. Turn 3 is just not fast enough, and as we saw today multiple times, I guess that it's not that they have answers to the Teferi. It's more like your Teferi needs to be kind of flawless in a way. What I'm trying to say is like you need to make sure that you're doing stuff before playing the Teferi, because otherwise your Teferi is just gonna get got. So it is kind of awkward. I wonder if there's like a maybe Jeskai shell that works. I really doubt it though. I really doubt it that works. Though maybe it does. How is the trickery deck so consistent? I took my eyes off your match for a little bit and the emblems came out of nowhere. Well, I mean, they have 8 cards that just do the thing, and those cards can't fizzle, right? It's basically oops all spells, except it happens more consistently. And their bad cards still do stuff, right? Like there's versions that play Blood Moon, there's versions that play. So even when they don't have their combo, they still have a plan that they can pull together. It's not like the oops deck that the oops deck just crossovers and dies if it doesn't draw one of the 8 pieces of the combo. So yeah, I mean this deck is cool. I like it. I like the fairy. I think that it's cool, but maybe we just need to play more stuff in the early turns. Maybe you just need like 3 mana leak, 3 remand or something like that. 4 remand, 2 mana leak. Maybe cutting down on growth spirals. Maybe something like this. Path to Exile is kind of whatever. It's definitely the most whatever card out of all of these. 3 Dryad seems fine. I don't think you want 4. 3 Teferi seems better. Udo is just Uro. I don't know. I feel like we hit a lot of bad variants today. This is not free though. These lands suck. These 2 lands here are a huge, massive cost. Massive cost to play this. So I am fairly sure that if you want to play a deck like this, you're just better off cutting the Dryads and just playing other cards instead. So you can still play Primetime as your top hand and stuff, but I think that Dryad is powerful, but it is a massive, massive risk to be playing that. I've been definitely silenced the crap out of T-Bots to Great X. I've been playing Timur Giants with Dryad and have only done worse than a 4-1 once out of 10 leagues plus if you're interested. No, not really. I literally just talked about how I don't want to have Dryads in my deck. I like the Timur Giants list as is. I think that the Timur Giant list is pretty good. I don't want to add Dryads. And I think that anything that you cut in order to make room for Dryads is just making your deck worse. Again, I'm playing more lands, I'm playing 29 lands, and I'm playing 2 Valakuts, and I'm still feeling like Valakut is far and away the worst card in my deck. And I don't want to draw it. So, like, imagine in a 28 land deck. And imagine making room for Dryads. Yeah, like, that, those are all changes that I simply don't want to be making. I think that you're just making your deck worse. Timur Giants with the Saga. Yeah, this is the Timur Giants list that I've been playing. The Saga has been rather impressive. The Saga has been rather impressive. The sideboard is I think the weakest part of the deck. I don't like the sideboard that much. Also, maybe I should just not be respecting graveyard decks right now. I only cut a Force, a Ren, and 6, and a Remand, and 1 land, and cut the basic Mountain and Reflective Pool. Yeah, all of those changes, I don't like any of that. I think that the basics are important because you're playing a Field of Ruin deck, and you're going to be playing against field decks or Wildfire decks that are going to be going after your lands. I think that Ren is one of the best cards in the deck, so I definitely don't want to cut a Ren for a Dryad. Those are kind of like directly opposite cards if you want, because the Ren helps you hit your land drops, and the Dryad allows you to play more lands. So if you don't have the lands because you're not hitting your land drops as consistently with Ren, then your Dryad just doesn't give you any value, and it's a 3 mana do nothing card. So yeah, I don't like any of those changes. Remand, I literally just added the 6th counter spell deck, the 6th counter spell to my deck in the other one, because I am talking about how I want more early interaction. You're telling me that you're cutting them. Yeah, I don't like any of those changes. Also, I've discovered that some cards have story spotlight on them. I'm pretty that's been the case in Scottish. What's a story spotlight? This thing? Oh, in the beginning, in the bottom there. What does that mean? It means that it has something to do with the story of the, like with the lore. I'm on 3 invasions as well. Yeah, like I have liked Invasion a lot. I've been happy with the full 4 copies. My first list had 3. My first list had 3, but I've gone up to 4 because I like it. I like it that much, basically. All right, folks. This was kind of a disheartening stream, which we did kind of well, honestly. Like we went 4-1, 2-3, and 3-2, but we played against like 6 Trickery decks out of 15 matches. I don't know. It's just too much. It's just too much, and I think I'm probably gonna be doing a little bit of waiting. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of waiting before I go back to playing more modern. I was thinking about playing the challenge this weekend, and I honestly don't think I'm gonna be able to bring myself to be able to play it. So maybe I can play a different format challenge or something like that, or just play some leagues in a different format. I don't know. I will try to figure out, but since I didn't stream yesterday, I was thinking about making up for it tomorrow or Sunday, or Sunday maybe. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be playing a lot less modern while things continue being this way, because yeah, it's just not a good time. I've seen Yama doing the same thing, so I guess it's not just me, but we're gonna see how things go. But that's gonna be it for me today here. Thank you folks for checking out the stream. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and yeah, I'll see you around later. Have an amazing weekend and take care. Bye bye.